Hi, second and third graders. Today we are going to use what we learned about value and showing depth in our coloring skills. You are going to need colored pencils today. If you don't have colored pencils, crayons work. Markers are not going to work for this project because they don't show light and dark. It's all one color. We are going to draw some hot air balloons. We are going to put a light source on there, and then we are going to color our hot air balloons in lightest next to the sun, closest to the sun, and dark on the opposite sides. And then we're going to throw in a landscape at the bottom. Our directions are on this worksheet. The drawing itself is not the most important part of this project. Your coloring is the most important part of this project. So I need you guys to work really hard at the pressure on your pencil. If you press really hard, you can see like your skin goes down a little bit. But if you go really light, it just tickles. So we're going to press really hard sometimes, and we're gonna tickle some other times, and we're gonna gradually go from dark to light on our colors. So if you mess up on the drawing, not a big deal. If it takes you a little bit to figure out how to color it in, I want to see that you're trying and getting better. So as long as you get better throughout the project, that's all that matters. And again, I know you're second and third graders, so I don't expect your shading and value to be as good as mine. I went to art school twice for my master's degree also. So, I know second and third graders don't color that well. So don't freak out if it's not as good as mine. But I do want you to try really hard at the coloring parts. So I hope you enjoy. I hope you get better at using your pencil, and yeah, have fun. All right, kiddos, let's draw some hot air balloons. I apologize for the shadow I have going on here, but that's my tripod holding up my iPad. So we're going to start this worksheet. You can keep it up on your computer. You don't need to print it off. I printed it off so I could have it side by side for you guys. So the first thing we want to do is draw a line very lightly. So light that you probably can't see it on my paper. But if you draw it too dark, you're not going to be able to erase it later. So now we're going to draw some hot air balloons so we can shade them in and make them look three-dimensional. So we're going to start with the closest one. The closer something is, the bigger it is, and the farther down on the page it goes. So your hand works really well making a circle one direction. If you're left-handed, it's this way. If you're right-handed, it's this way. But it does not work well going the opposite way. There's kind of this kink in your hand when you draw it. So I'm going to make my first one go past the guideline a little bit. So I'm going to start over there. And I am kind of leaving my wrist where it is on the paper and moving my paper around and around. And that will give you this kind of hot air balloon type shape. Then I need to go down a little bit. It's okay that I am past the guideline. The one that I did yesterday in preparation for this project also goes past the line, and it's not a big deal. It just has less space for my landscape in the background. So there's my first one. Second one is a little lower, but much smaller, but I'm still gonna have that same around and around. Trying to get it circular. Draw light until you know it's right. If you draw really, really hard right away, your balloons are not going to be very round. It takes quite a bit to get them nice and round. And then one more itty bitty one up towards the sky. And again, I draw light because I'm not sure if it's right. When I draw, I usually make my paper dizzy. When I color, if my paper was alive, it'd be dizzy. Okay, so that is finished with step one. Now I need to draw the baskets. So I'm going to draw a couple lines coming down. Okay, and then I'm going to draw the top of the basket that matches this line. I'm going to draw my basket a little bit longer. And then I'm going to draw another line that matches those first two lines. Then I need to do the other side of the basket. This is also an arced line. Okay, so there is balloon basket number one. I gotta do the same exact thing with number two. Draw some lines going down. This matches. I'm gonna make my basket a little longer. And that bottom matching, matching, matching. And then the opposite arc. Basket number three. This one's gonna be teeny tiny. Okay, so now we need to draw some lines. The lines are gonna make the balloon curved. So you don't want straight lines because that will not help the lines curve. In kindergarten, if you were at West Ottawa, we did pumpkin drawings, and you should have done a pumpkin drawing with the same curved line. So I'm kind of matching this side. So 1, 2. If you don't have room for all 3, that's fine. 3. And then, of course, I flip my paper over because that's the way my hand arcs. 1, 2, 3. Okay, same thing over here. 1, 2. If you have room for that third, you can draw the third. If you don't, not a big deal. 1, 2. This side's a little bigger, so I'm gonna do it. 3. And then 1, 2, 3. Okay, so then on the next step, we are going to do these little bumpy lines going across. You can make as many bumpy lines as you want, but just remember the more you have, the more difficult it may be to color these in shaded. So 1 bump, 2, 3. And then I'm gonna match this one 1, 2, and I go up a little bit on the sides to show depth a little bit more. Now, the website I got this from did have kindergartners making this project. So if you tell me this is too hard, I'm gonna tell you if a kindergartner can do it, so can you. You just have to practice. I don't expect perfection, but I expect you to try. Okay, I'm gonna leave this one and this one alone. If you want to put bumpy lines on there, go ahead, but I'm not going to. Okay, so now we're going to draw some hills. So I'm going to draw 1, like this. And since my balloon is a little low, I'm not going to do them exactly like this. Okay, now it tells me to draw some trees. So starting down here, I'm gonna do this tree, going off the page a little bit. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm gonna erase these lines, so I hope you drew those lines nice and light so you don't see through them when we color. Okay, and then maybe I'll draw another hill going down here so I can put those trees a little lower. So 1, 2, and then some taller, more rectangular ones. Okay. I don't like anything growing out of the horizon line, so I'm not going to put anything up there. Maybe I'll put some little trees over here. And then some more over here. And the ones farther away get smaller. So if I put some back here, they're going to be teeny tiny. Okay, so after my trees are done, then we're moving on to some farmland. So I'm going to throw some lines in here. Maybe over here. Remember, farther away gets bigger, so I'm doing, or farther away, sorry, gets smaller. Maybe some more right here, going this way. I'm not going to do them all, just some of them. I am skipping the flowers because I don't think those look realistic enough for this project. If you want to put them on, you may, it's up to you. Okay, and then if you have a black marker or Sharpie, then go ahead and Sharpie. And then when you're done sharpening, I want you to erase your pencil lines. All right, kiddos. So this hot air balloon is going to be colored in using what we learned about shading. Our sun is going to be our light source. So where our sun is closest to the sun is going to be the lightest. The farthest from the sun is going to be the darkest. Remember when we colored in our spheres, that's what we did. So our sun and our hot air balloons are going to be shaded. If you have colored pencils, I would love for you to use those. If you only have crayons, those work as well. Markers are not going to work for this project because you cannot shade with markers. So if you don't have a marker, you can do this shading with just a regular pencil. It's not going to be as colorful as you would like, but yeah, that's what we're going to go with. I have twistable color pencils, but they work exactly like normal color pencils. I just don't have to sharpen them. So that's why I chose those. And that's what we got going on here. So when I'm going to do this basket first. I should put these out on my table so it's not as noisy when I dig for my colors. But that was noisy. Sorry. All right. I'm going to find a brown. So when I press on my color pencil, since my light source is right here, we're going to make over here dark. So I'm pressing hard like a number 8. And then a 7. And I get dark underneath there a little bit. 6. This time you have to stay in the lines. We can't go outside of the lines when we're coloring. 5. 4. 3, 2, 1. And then I go back and make sure that that is colored in nice and gradual. I don't want any difference. I don't want these flat lines in between each one. Even though there are lines in there, I still want it to be gradual. It's called gradation. Let's see if I have another brown, just to give it a different color. Again, furthest from the sun goes dark. This one's gonna go a bunch quicker. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then I go back and make sure it's gradually getting lighter. And then for my balloon, it's going to be a little different because there are indentations to make it, we want this to look 3-dimensional. So I'm going to be darkest down here. And then I also have different colors here. So those are going to have to be shade it in using pretty much the same scale that we do for the first one. So 8 is on the outside, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And again, this side is darker, so we're going to start with an 8 by the bump. And maybe the next one I start with 7 or a 6. And that will make it look like it's indenting a little bit. Dark. To light. And this is closest to the sun over here. So I need that to be real light. And when I get to the crease, it's not going to be as dark as it is over here. Maybe a 3 or a 4. Instead of a 7 or an 8. So that hopefully will make that balloon pop out. And over here, I'm barely touching at all. Like, tickles. Not pressing in hard, but tickles. And we always color these side to side. Or up and down. We can't go side to side this way because you can't go from pressing hard to pressing very light going this way. So you have to go this way. Have to go this way. And when we get to the sky, you want to go the same direction. It doesn't matter if you go side to side or up and down, but we can't go this way and then this way and then this way and then this way and this way and this way all over the place. You have to go in one direction.